Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
How many ACLU attorneys does it take to equal one Liberty Counsel attorney? Well, we're going to talk about it today on Faith and Freedom. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Shawn Akers, the dean of the Helm School of Government at Liberty University. Shawn, we have been involved, Liberty Counsel has, in this case in Santa Rosa County, Florida, for now almost a couple of years, because the ACLU, they had a nationwide fundraising goal of $335 million, which unbelievably they made that goal. Then they put more boots on the ground, including in Florida, and they went after this Panhandle school district in the Panhandle of Florida to really criminalize Christianity, where it ended up that we had to defend an individual who was in court. We had to defend her for 7.5 hours in court. They wanted her to pay $30,000 in fees. Why? Because her husband prayed at a meal, privately sponsored, in a neighboring event, he is not even an employee, but school employees were there on their own time, after school, in the evening, privately sponsored, and they said, oh, drag her into court. She should be held in contempt of this order that the ACLU had crafted. That and other kinds of insane things happened there. Now we're going back to court, and we were in court just a few days ago.
Matt, this is one of those cases that it's hard to even believe that we're talking about this, that someone is literally being pulled into court because their husband said a prayer. You know, this is the kind of thing that you read about in novels, but not the thing that really happens in real life, you don't think. But as you've shown, the ACLU has, through a fundraising mechanism, gone out and been able to pour tons of money into fighting over just such issues with almost no recourse whatsoever, except for groups like us.
That's right. Well, the ACLU has been trying to criminalize Christianity, literally there. Another situation is two people, the athletic director, 40-year employee, the principal of Pace High School, 30-year employee. They had a dinner or a lunch where they wanted to thank some people who had contributed to the Boosters Club for a athletic facility that just had been constructed. And there were about 18 people there, no students. The principal looked to the athletic director, and he said, can you bless the meal before we begin? He said, sure. So he gave a short blessing. They didn't think anything about it. The ACLU said they should be held in criminal contempt of this order that they had crafted before, that they had obtained from this judge. And the judge set a hearing. We were there for an entire day. About a 12, 13-hour day in court. They could have been put in jail for 6 months, fined $5,000, and lost their collective 70 years of retirement benefits. Criminal contempt for a prayer over a meal. What happened is we intervened on behalf of Christian Educators Association International, CEAI. The judge denied that intervention. We appealed that intervention to the Court of Appeals. We're waiting on that decision. In the meantime, we filed a separate federal court action on behalf of 24 individual plaintiffs, teachers, staff, people from the community, students, former students, against the school district. And now the judge has entered a temporary restraining order against the school district from enforcing this same injunction that the ACLU crafted and that the judge had previously approved. So it's an odd situation, but it has given us some temporary reprieve, especially for the upcoming baccalaureate, which these school staff were not able to attend. Private baccalaureate off campus, privately funded, privately sponsored on their own time. Since students were in the presence of that, they were able to come on their own. The court order that is in operation considered any event where a student was and a staff member was, even in the private event, it transformed it into an official event, like it was the classroom. So, as in the classroom, you couldn't get up to do certain things religiously, you couldn't do this in a private event. So you couldn't be there. You couldn't even do this, Shawn. You couldn't bow your heads or fold your hands as you were in agreement with someone who was praying, even if you weren't praying. If a student prayed, you couldn't show respect for that prayer by folding your hands or bowing your heads. That's actually in the court order. We got a temporary reprieve for that. We were recently in court. Harry Mahet, our senior litigation counsel in this case, and the ACLU brought in 7 of its attorneys. They flew them in from around the country, including their national office, to come against one of our attorneys. And now their intent, as we go to this final hearing in the summer, is to try to bury Liberty Counsel in paper. And as Dr. Falwell always said, it takes about 7 liberals to equal 1 conservative. It takes about 7 ACLU attorneys to equal 1 Liberty Counsel attorney.
Now, Matt, help us be clear on this, because the pattern that you just traced is almost unbelievable. So the ACLU went in and said, beginning, that these school employees aren't allowed to practice any of their personal religion, even in private places. Then, by treating them as employees 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, if they go to something off hours and away from campus and pray, then they're violating the Constitution. And then took it a step further, that even if someone else prays off campus, after hours, away from the school, and you so much as show respect as an employee of the school, that you're breaching the Constitution. Now, help us understand. That sounds like lunacy to the average person.
Well,
What's
if you're the faculty or staff advisor or chaperone or sponsor of a religious organization, student organization like Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and it's student-run, student-initiated, and they get up and they say, let's open our meeting with prayer. Everybody else can bow their heads, the other students can, but the staff person has to keep their eyes open and look straight ahead. Literally under the order, they can't even bow their head. They can't even fold their hands as they were in agreement with or showing respect for the prayer. That's part of this. It is unbelievable, and that's why we had to defend this one lady whose husband, who is not a person who is a school employee, prayed over a meal, and because there were other staff members there, it was almost like it was a school event, even though it was privately funded, privately sponsored, not even in the same county as the school district, and the ACLU said, hold her in contempt. We actually had testimony in court where it came from this and other people following this court order that the ACLU got. They said that one of the employees, one of their colleagues, lost a young child, and that child died, and they wanted, obviously, naturally console each other. They were afraid to have even a private prayer by the desk of each other, even though students didn't come back into those administrative areas. So they actually literally went into the closet, closed the closet doors, the storage doors, and they would pray behind the closed doors for fear that they would be also held in contempt of court. That's the kind of insanity that's going on in Santa Rosa County, Florida.
People praying behind closed doors in the United States of America.
Yeah,
Matt,
it's a surreal situation.
It really is. This is the kind of thing that you would never expect to go on here. Henry Ward Beecher said in Proverbs from a Plymouth pulpit that liberty is the soul's right to breathe, and when it can't take a long breath, laws are girdled too tight. These people can't even pray about a tragedy by their desks. I think laws are girdled too tight here. Glad that we have Liberty Counsel defending us there.
Well, this will take a lot of time and a lot of resources and funds, obviously, to go up against this particular adversary here. They literally did a national fundraising campaign, nationally, $335 million, and they obtained that goal. And Florida was one of 7 or so states that they put additional resources on. I can tell you what, they wanted to have this case as a model because they wanted to replicate it in other places. They sought to replicate the same thing in Tennessee. But we stopped them in Florida, and so it has not gone through the other states as rapidly as they want it to do. That's why they're bringing in their resources from around the country, from their state and national offices, and they're piling on to this case to try to wear us down. We obviously have limited resources. We don't have a $335 million fundraising goal, and we don't have that extra pot of gold sitting there to bring these resources to the table. What we do need is additional resources now to help fight against the ACLU, and we need your prayers as well. For more information how you can be a part of Liberty Counsel, call 1-800-671-1776. You can also go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. That's lc.org. For more information, you can sign up for the Liberty Alert email. You can also make an online secure credit card contribution right there on the website, or call 1-800-671-1776 for more information. You can send in your check or other contribution to Liberty Counsel. And when you call, also ask for the Patriots Handbook. This is the Patriots Handbook that actually contains the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. The Patriots Handbook is a publication we'd like to give you. The Constitution is becoming more popular and good thing these days. So ask for the Patriots Handbook for a small contribution. We'll give that to you, and we can use that to help support this important case in Santa Rosa County, Florida.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.